Learning is one of the most important functions of human existence. Without learning, we would have never survived as a species. From the earliest humans who learned to harness fire and develop tools, to modern societies creating advanced technologies and complex social structures, learning has been the fuel for progress and innovation. It shapes our understanding of the world, enables us to improve our lives, and helps us build communities and cultures. But how does learning work in the brain? The brain consists of three main regions: the hindbrain, the midbrain, and the forebrain. The forebrain is divided into the diencephalon and the telencephalon. The thalamus and hypothalamus make up the diencephalon, and the telencephalon consists of the cerebrum and the basal ganglia. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, divided into the right and left hemispheres. The outermost layer of the cerebrum is called the cerebral cortex, also known as gray matter. The cerebrum is also divided into four distinct lobes: the frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes. But let's talk about how learning begins. When you look at something, light reflecting off the object enters your eyes and focuses on the retina, which contains photoreceptor cells that convert light into electrical signals. These electrical signals are transmitted from the retina through the optic nerve to the visual cortex in the occipital lobe at the back of the brain. The visual cortex processes these signals to interpret various aspects of the visual stimulus, such as shape, color, and movement. This is the basic step of recognizing what you are looking at. The processed information is then sent to other parts of the cerebral cortex for further interpretation and integration. This is where the temporal lobe comes into play. In the temporal lobe is the hippocampus. The hippocampus is vital for transforming short-term memories into long-term ones. This process, known as memory consolidation, is crucial for the stabilization and long-term storage of memories. The hippocampus helps in organizing and storing these memories in other parts of the brain for long-term retention. If the visual information has an emotional component, like something frightening or extremely pleasing, the amygdala, which is also in the temporal lobe, gets activated. Emotional responses can strengthen the memory of the visual information, making it more likely to be remembered. If the visual information or learning is reinforced through repetition or strong emotional connection, it leads to stronger neural connections in the relevant parts of the brain. The way it does this is through a process called neuroplasticity, where the brain's neural networks reorganize and strengthen, making the learned information more accessible and easier to recall in the future. So in simpler terms, if you want to learn or memorize more, you need to strengthen your neuroplasticity. But how does neuroplasticity work? The brain consists of neurons, which are interconnected by synapses, or the junctions where neurons communicate. Neuroplasticity involves the changes in the strength of synapses and the formation of new synaptic connections, or the elimination of existing ones, also called synaptic pruning. The most common form of neuroplasticity is synaptic plasticity. This involves the changes in the efficiency and strength of synapses. Long-term potentiation and long-term depression are processes where synaptic connections become stronger or weaker over time based on their activity. Structural plasticity is another type of neuroplasticity. This is where the brain can change its physical structure in response to learning by altering the connections between neurons. This can involve the growth of new dendrites, which are branches of a neuron that receive signals, the formation of new synapses, and even the generation of new neurons, also called neurogenesis. So how can we increase our neuroplasticity? Well, lots of research has been done on this, and basically the main underlying factor is to just challenge your brain. Continuous learning, challenging video games, music, exercise, etc. But what about photographic memory? What is different in their brain? Individuals with photographic or eidetic memory might have an enhanced ability in visual and spatial processing areas of the brain. This could mean more efficient or more detailed processing in the visual cortex or other regions involved in visual memory. There also might be differences in the way individuals with photographic memory retrieve information from memory. This could be linked to more efficient pathways in the brain for accessing stored information. Additionally, individuals with extraordinary memory capabilities might have brains that are more plastic in certain regions, allowing for more robust connections and memory storage capabilities. Some studies have also suggested that the temporal lobes might be more active or developed in individuals with photographic memory. It's important to note, however, that the scientific understanding of photographic memory is still incomplete. Much of what is believed to be photographic memory may actually be attributable to a combination of innate ability, learned memory techniques, and a high degree of concentration or attention. And while we know a lot about how memories are formed and stored, the exact mechanisms, especially for long-term memory storage, are not completely understood. The journey of learning and memory in the human brain is a remarkable testament to our evolutionary progress and the intricate complexity of our neural architecture. From the initial visual processing in the occipital lobe to the sophisticated memory consolidation in the hippocampus, each step represents a critical function in our ability to comprehend and interact with the world. The enhancement of neuroplasticity through continuous learning and mental challenges not only exemplifies our capacity for cognitive growth, but also highlights the incredible adaptability and potential of the human brain. This exploration of the brain's learning and memory processes reveals not just the mechanisms of cognition, but also the endless possibilities of the human mind, encouraging us to continually challenge and nurture our mental capabilities in pursuit of knowledge and understanding.